Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because, well, we're tackling a massive paradox that's just staring us right in the face. If you glance at the headlines lately, you'll see a scoreboard showing the highest national wealth numbers in recorded history. But if you look at the median American adult, there is a deep, very real financial struggle going on. It's kind of like looking at a stadium with the brightest, flashiest scoreboard ever built, but the actual seats, they just keep getting emptier. So today, we're going to unpack exactly what it actually means to be on track financially, and we're going to expose the invisible forces that are literally dictating your financial future. Okay, let's dive into this. Last year, this country minted about 1,200 new millionaires a day. You heard that right, every single day, weekends included. But across roughly that exact same stretch of time, the wealth of the median American adult actually fell by about a fifth. Both of those facts are completely true. And get this, they both came out of the exact same report. So how in the world can we be creating so many millionaires while the middle class is actively losing ground? Well, a big chunk of the problem comes down to how we talk about the data itself. You know, you've probably heard people say the average American household net worth is over $1 million. And frankly, that is just a terrible benchmark. Using the average to describe American wealth is exactly like using the average temperature of an oven in a freezer to plan a picnic. I mean, sure, it might be mathematically accurate, but nobody is eating. Think about it. If a billionaire hedge fund manager walks into a diner with 9 line cooks, the average person in that diner is suddenly a millionaire, even though nobody in the kitchen can even make rent. Averages deeply flatter the data. To get the true story of the middle class, we have to look at the median. And to really understand how wealth is built, we need to look at actual people. Section 1. 3 different paths to wealth. We're going to step away from the abstract statistics for a minute and look at 3 very normal everyday workers. We're going to run their numbers, trace their careers, and set up a bit of a mystery for you. Because by the end of this, one of them will retire with the most money, one will retire with the least, and the order is probably going to surprise, or honestly, maybe even irritate you because it totally defies conventional wisdom. So here's our lineup. First up, we have Otis. He's 41, an electrician making about $62,300 a year. He's working hard, but he knows he has a finite number of ladder climbs left in his knees. Next, we have Wanda. She's 26, a dental hygienist making $87,500. She's young, not really thinking about retirement quite yet, just trying to avoid the stress of skipping a friend's wedding because a $400 flight was too expensive. And finally, we have Alton. He's also 41, a software developer making $132,000 a year. Now, notice that Alton makes more than double what Otis makes. By all traditional logic, Alton should easily win this financial race, right? Well, keep these 3 in mind because their outcomes depend entirely on something you rarely ever see on a spreadsheet. Section 2. How the 2 clocks work. Whenever you ask if you're on track, you're implying a destination, a distance, and a clock. But here is the massive secret no one tells you. There are actually 2 clocks on the wall timing your financial life, and the financial industry has only ever handed you the first one. Let's break down how 2 wealth clocks work. On one side, we have clock 1, compounding. This clock runs on years. It works for you. Sure, it feels insultingly slow at the beginning, but by the end, the math looks practically supernatural. This is that green line going up and to the right that every single finance brochure shows you. But on the other side, we have clock 2, costs and inflation. Now this clock doesn't tick. It just quietly, persistently raises the price of everything you're saving for. Houses, tuition, childcare, the actual number you need to finally stop working. The secret to wealth isn't just running faster. You only win this game by making your compounding clock outrun your cost of living clock. Let me show you exactly what happens when these 2 clocks collide. Let's say Wanda, our 26-year-old dental hygienist, starts putting just $600 a month into a broad index fund and never raises it. After 39 years, assuming a 10% return before inflation, clock 1 hands her a statement that reads $3.4 million. Sounds absolutely incredible, right? But remember clock 2. Over those 39 years, inflation has been politely eating her lunch, 1 bite at a time. So that $3.4 million actually only buys what $1.46 million buys in today's purchasing power. That's both clocks operating in one scenario. And this brilliantly illustrates the staggering penalty of waiting to start clock 1. If you want to land $2 million in today's purchasing power by age 65, just look at how the monthly cost skyrockets based on when you begin. If you start at 22, it's about $610 a month. But wait until you're 30. It jumps to $1,110. Delay until 50, you have to cough up over $6,300 every single month. The destination is exactly the same, but the price multiplies by 10 across a single working lifetime.
Delay is definitively the most expensive purchase in personal finance, and nobody ever hands you a receipt for it.
Section 3. The big reveal.
So, armed with this knowledge of how these two wealth clocks actually work, let's bring it back to our three workers. Let's see how Otis, Wanda, and Alton actually fared. Who made their compounding clock beat their cost clock? Well, here is the shocking twist. Wanda, who earned less than Alton but started at 26, lapsed everybody, finishing with $1.46 million in today's dollars. Otis, the electrician, who wanted to stop climbing ladders by 60, started at 41 but consistently moved to $900 a month. He hits his goal, finishing with $728,000. And Alton, the software developer making more than double what Otis makes? Actually, he finishes dead last at $437,000, which is roughly 60% of what the electrician finished with. Income was literally the absolute worst predictor of wealth among these three.
Now, before we rush to judge Alton, we have to realize his outcome isn't due to some massive character flaw. It's just Clock 2 disguised as completely reasonable adult decisions. I mean, Alton's income went up by $30,000 over 6 years. Great news. But the raise arrived exactly when his second kid did. Daycare is $13,000 a year per child. He bought a slightly bigger house, adding $1,100 to his monthly mortgage. His old car died, so he got a truck with a $770 monthly payment. By the time the dust settled, Clock 2 had entirely consumed his raise before he ever even got to feel it. That is just arithmetic wearing a disguise.
Section 4. Why the game changed.
Now, if you're hearing about Alton's friction and feeling a bit of financial anxiety yourself, I want to validate that right now. Reaching these financial milestones genuinely feels harder today than it did for your grandparents. And that's because the underlying architecture of the game actually did change right beneath our feet. Let's walk through this brutal structural shift. Back in 1980, roughly 60% of private sector workers had a pension. Today, that number is sitting around 4%. That wasn't just some minor policy tweak. That was the entire market risk of your retirement being dumped off a corporate balance sheet and right onto your kitchen table. Meanwhile, real median wages have only gone up about 29% in total across the last 45 years. But the things you actually need to buy, they are sprinting. Housing is up 550%. Tuition has compounded at double the rate of general inflation. The assets you need to acquire have been running a marathon, while the wages you used to buy them have merely been taking a walk. But here's the thing. Despite those massive structural headwinds, the math of Clock 1 still works if you let it. Take Ronald Reed. He pumped gas in Vermont, swept floors at a JCPenney, and wore a flannel coat held together with safety pins. He never earned a massive salary, but when he died at age 92, his family found 95 stock certificates worth roughly $8 million. Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, utilities. He just bought them over 5 decades, never sold, and let the dividends buy more. He wasn't gated by a trust fund. He just gave his compounding clock more time than almost anyone alive, and he never let the cost clock talk him out of it. Ronald Reed perfectly illustrates the true mechanics of wealth building. If you want to know if you're on track, it all comes down to these 3 variables, and frankly, nothing else. 1, savings rate. What percentage of your income goes in? 2, time. How many years Clock 1 gets to compound? And 3, friction. How much you avoid leaking along the way to fees, taxes, and panicking during market drops. Notice what is entirely missing from this list: your salary, your job title, and your age. Rate, time, and friction are the only real levers that actually dictate your success.
Section 5. Redefining the finish line.
So this brings us to a crucial pivot. We need to redefine the finish line entirely. If we know the mechanics, we also need to change our mental framework around why we are actually putting this money away in the first place. Because when people hear the word multi-millionaire, they instantly picture a very specific lifestyle that might actually be leading them completely astray. The crucial point really comes down to $78,000. Morningstar data shows a safe withdrawal rate for a 30-year retirement is around 3.9%. That means a $2 million nest egg throws off about $78,000 a year before taxes. And if that money is in a traditional 401k, well, the IRS is taking a slice of that too. Having $2 million is an incredible achievement, but it's not private yacht money, right? It is a solid middle-class income. But here is the absolute magic of it. It's an income with absolutely no boss attached to it. You aren't buying luxury. You are buying the power to say no. No to the bad shift, no to the demanding client, no to the stress.
Which brings us to the final and really the most important question. Which clock is winning in your life right now? That scoreboard flashing the giant national wealth numbers, it doesn't matter. What matters is measuring your wealth in time. So ask yourself today, how many months of freedom could you afford right now before something breaks? For a lot of people, that number is under 1 month. Getting it to 3 months will change your daily life and lower your stress far more than chasing some abstract 2 million ever will. And the best part? You can start working on those 3 months of freedom right now, today. So figure out your friction, give yourself the gift of time, and make sure your compounding clock outruns your costs. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I challenge you, go make Clock 1 the winner.